Hello, my name is Nash, and I've recently moved to Bangladesh just a few months ago. I have a company that we started here called Mangoes Mobile, and we develop Android and iPhone applications for medical education purposes. Right now we're testing our app out in Botswana, but hopefully we can bring it to Bangladesh soon. Also in Bangladesh, I'm also a director in the GNR ad network, and GNR is Bangladesh's first online advertising network, and we show ads across 400 of Bangladesh's top websites. Prior to coming to Bangladesh, I was working at Google. I worked at Google in Singapore and in Mountain View. I was also part of a startup called AdMob, which Google purchased, and AdMob at the time was the largest mobile advertising network in the world. My work at AdMob and Google exposed me to a lot of different layers of the mobile ecosystem, which is what I talked about today. Starting from vast content providers in countries like Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, who are my clients, all the way up to app developers who made the most popular apps in the world, such as Angry Birds. They were also my clients. And so I got exposure to a broad range of the ecosystem. That's really what I wanted to cover in today's talk. My talk today, and hopefully you can see some slides in this video, tried to cover a couple of different segments of the market, starting with end users and showcasing the robust growth that's there in the Bangladeshi market and the huge user base that already exists, and some of the challenges of the end user base, which are really related to language and literacy, Bangla fonts not being available on handsets, and people not being able to read some of the content that we could share with them. Then the presentation talked about carriers and the telcos, talking about the changing business model there, what it means for a telco to become a data-driven business rather than a voice-driven business, and that really is about opening up this platform to outside developers. In my opinion, one of the most crucial parts to open up are those voice APIs, so web developers can create applications that leverage voice in new innovative ways. The BBC Janala project that Richard talked about today was a great example of how voice content can really be have high reach and significant impact. And I think that there's a lot of new applications that can be built with voice APIs. So on the telco side, I hope that they start to open up that platform a bit. The presentation also covered device manufacturers and talked about how device manufacturers really compete on price in Bangladesh. But nowadays we're also seeing that there is a leaning towards phones with certain types of content, certain types of features on them. Content is really what differentiates the phone and offers a unique experience. Two examples are phones with Android offer the unique experience of having many apps, and we see lots of cheap Android handsets coming out, less than 7,000 taka now in Bangladesh, so I'm very bullish on Android. The other example is FM radios. Phones, very cheap phones, still come with FM radios, and that's a differentiator because people want that content. Once again, it's about enabling access to content through the mobile device, and the OEMs have a big part of that in the feature set that they offer and the platforms they choose to implement, such as their operating systems. The second last segment we talked about was OS providers, and so I spoke mainly about mobile web. The great part about mobile web is that it works on all phones. Most phones with an internet browser, Opera Mini, can view websites. So if you make a website, it'll work across all these devices, whereas if you make a custom Java ME app or you make a custom Android app, it won't work on all devices necessarily. So my recommendation on the OS side is for anybody developing an application to really start off on the mobile web and then consider developing an Android application and potentially a J2ME application. The main issues with J2ME is that there's no app store to ease the distribution pains, but Android has a great app store, and mobile internet is accessible to everybody, so no app store needed. You can just surf the web. The last part of the presentation was about developers, and so for developers, choosing that right platform is hard. But there's also cross-platform development tools that you can use as a developer to speed up that cycle, where you can write it once in a web language and deploy across multiple platforms. The other point for in the developer section was really about the business models that are prevalent for app developers, and that's what we need to make in Bangladesh. We need to create a platform that developers can really build a business off of and make money. And some of those ways are through selling apps, in-application billing, virtual goods. Right now the payments platforms really have become popular enough, but once they are we can definitely sell apps, sell contents within apps, have different types of revenue generation models directly within the app. The other way is through advertising. That's what the GNR ad network can help with. We just released a mobile ad network this week where you can plug our ads into your app and get paid every time someone looks at an ad. So it's these types of factors that really enable a vibrant developer ecosystem and provide incentives for new developers to build local content. And if we can address these different parts, get people excited about the end user base, work closely with the telcos, work closely with the OEMs, and understand the benefits of different OSs, and take all that information and really create a platform for developers to build, to understand the user base and build applications with the help of the telcos and the OEMs and the OSs, then I think we have a vibrant mobile market, a vibrant local mobile market, and that's what I'm excited about, and I'm happy to support it in any way. So please feel free to get in touch if you have some ideas you want to share. Thank you, a big thank you to Digital World and the audience at today's talk, and thank you to Priyo.com for filming this segment.